She said she needs space, and your heart sank, right? You're lying awake at night, replaying every moment, wondering what you did wrong and what you could have said differently. Or if she's already checked out. And deep down, you're terrified that space really means it's over. And here's the truth most men never hear. When your wife asks for space, she isn't asking you to disappear. She's asking you to make her feel safe again. I know, counterintuitive, right? And if you know how to respond the right way, this isn't the end. It's actually your chance to rebuild attraction, trust, and desire without chasing, begging, or losing your self-respect. In this video, I'll show you 3 attraction habits that quietly pull her back towards you, even if she's emotionally checked out right now. When your wife says, "I just need space," most men hear, "I'm done. It's over." But that's not what she's actually saying. Space doesn't mean leave me alone forever. It means I don't feel emotionally safe right now, and I don't trust that talking to you will make it any better. See, when a woman reaches the point where she's asking for space, she's already been hurting for quite a long time. She's gone through her own grieving cycles, denial, anger, sadness, exhaustion, quietly on her own. And now she's trying to protect herself from feeling more pain. She's not trying to punish you, she's trying to survive. Think about that for a second. The woman who once ran towards you for comfort now feels safer pulling away. That's what space really means. And here's the kicker. How you respond in that moment determines everything that happens next. Because most men panic. They argue, they try to convince her that she's wrong, they chase, begging her to talk, or they disappear completely, hoping she'll miss them. But all 3 of those reactions, chasing, debating, or ghosting, confirm her fears. They tell her, he doesn't know how to handle my emotions. He's not safe. I know you're scared to lose her. I know you feel helpless. But this moment, this space is not the end of your marriage. It's the test. And what you do next will decide whether this space heals or destroys the connection between you. Your job right now isn't to fill the silence. It's to rebuild safety, to show her through calmness and consistency that she can breathe around you again. So imagine your marriage kind of like a car that's been driving too hard for too long. The engine starts to smoke and she says, "We need to pull over." Most men panic and they slam on the gas and saying, "No, we just have to make it home." But if you keep driving that car that's overheating, you don't save it. You blow the engine. Space is her way of pulling over and letting things cool down before more damage happens. Your job isn't to jump out and blame the engine. It's to lift the hood, take a breath, and figure out what caused overheating in the first place. That's what builds trust. That's what starts to heal her heart. Here's the first thing you need to understand when your wife asks for space. She's not asking you to fix anything. She's asking you to stop adding pressure. Most men, the second they hear, "I need space," panic and go into problem-solving mode. They start texting more, explaining more, apologizing more, trying to prove they care. But what she's really craving isn't your explanation, it's your presence. So instead of chasing or fixing, you create what I call as a space of vulnerability. Sounds like this. "Hey, I get that you need some space. I don't want things to be like they were either. Let's take a little time to reset. I just want to show you what's different." That's it. Calm, grounded, respectful. You're not arguing. You're not begging. You're leading the energy back to safety. That one shift alone relieves all the pressure she's feeling. And it tells her subconscious, I can breathe around him again. When men start to do this, something powerful happens. Take Jacob, one of my clients. His wife had completely cut off communication, no calls, no texts, nothing. When he finally stopped trying to force conversation and started leading with calm vulnerability, he said one thing that changed everything. "Understand why you're hurt. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to show you I've changed." 2 weeks later, she showed up at his office to talk. Not about problems, but about hope. That's the power of creating emotional space she can actually feel safe stepping into. The second attraction habit is simple, but it's the hardest one for most men. Lead yourself first. Remember, as a husband, you're the emotional thermostat of your home. She follows your energy, not your words. If you're chaotic, reactive, and uncertain, she'll feel unsafe. But if you're calm, grounded, and moving forward, she starts to trust again. Because attraction doesn't start when you chase her. It starts when you stabilize yourself. Ask yourself this. If I wouldn't follow me right now, why would she? That question hits hard for some reason. Because most men are trying to fix the marriage before they fix their focus. So here's what leadership looks like in action. You wake up, you work out, not to impress her, but to respect yourself. You keep your word, even on the small things. You stop explaining and start executing. Attraction is not built in your text, it's built in your consistency. We had a gentleman named Conrad, another husband I worked with, who was sleeping on an air mattress after being separated. In 1 week, he changed his tone, his habits, and his energy. Instead of chasing her, he focused on leading himself. He said to me, I just want to become the man I promised her I'd be, even if she's not watching. And here's the crazy part. Within a month, she was watching. She saw the shift. She saw the calm. And she came home. That's what self-leadership does. It reawakens the natural pull between you. The third attraction habit is where everything comes together, rebuilding safety through microactions. Because the truth is, trust isn't rebuilt with grand gestures, it's rebuilt in the quiet moments, when she can finally say, I can relax around him again. As I say in the heroic husband method, trust is rebuilt brick by brick through consistency and reliability. That means when you say you'll call, you'll call. When you say you'll be there, you show up. When she set a boundary, you respect it. Even small follow-through becomes a deposit back into the emotional bank account she's been withdrawing from years. And slowly, those deposits start to change how she feels. You'll know it's working when she starts saying things like, you seem different lately. That's not just small talk. That's her testing the new safety is being built. It's her checking to see if the new version of you is real. So keep showing up. Keep being calm. Keep being consistent. Because when she feels safe, she naturally feels drawn to you again. Not because you convince her, but because she finally can trust you. Picture your marriage like a campfire that's been burning down to embers. Most men, when they panic, grab a bucket of gas and try to dump it on, hoping that it'll bring the flame back fast. And sure, it burns hot for a second, and then it dies out completely. The smart man, the heroic husband, doesn't throw gas. He protects the ember. He clears the space around it. He gives it air, and he adds kindling, one piece at a time. Small action, small word, consistent presence. And little by little, that spark grows back into fire. That's how attraction works after distance. You don't force the flames, you feed it. So, all right, brother, let's talk about what not to do, which is huge. Because right now, the wrong move can kill every ounce of progress you've made. When she asks for space, you're walking a fine line between rebuilding attraction and confirming her worst fear. So here's what you absolutely must avoid. And look, I get it. You love her. You don't want to lose her. So your gut tells you to prove your love, to text her, to call her, to send long messages about how much she means to you, maybe even drop off flowers or write a letter, pouring out your heart. But here's the hard truth. That doesn't pull her closer, it pushes her away. When a woman says she needs space, love bombing feels like pressure. It tells her he doesn't get it. He's doing this for himself, not for me. You're trying to calm your fear, not meet her need for safety. Think of it like holding a bird in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it wants to escape. On the other extreme, men fall into total silence, or what's called no contact. They think, if I disappear, she'll miss me. She'll realize what she lost. But that's not how an adult, mature relationship and marriage works. Going no contact doesn't create mystery, it creates insecurity. In fact, it usually makes her feel abandoned, which is the exact opposite of what we want. As I teach in The Heroic Husband, space is about safety, not silence. If you disappear completely, she doesn't interpret it as strength. She reads it as confirmation that you can't handle emotions. So instead of no contact, you create intentional distance, calm, respectful, with purpose. You say something like, I get that you need space, and I'm going to give it to you. I'll focus on myself and what I can control. When you're ready to talk, I'm here. That's not weakness, that's leadership. Now, this one's sneaky. A lot of men do it without realizing. They think, all right, fine, you want space? I'll give you space. But deep down, they're hoping she'll panic, get jealous, and come running back. That's not leadership, that's emotional poker. And women can sense it instantly. It's not calm confidence, it's hidden resentment. Real strength is when you give space with no strings attached, not a strategy to make her react, but as a decision to grow. You're not trying to get her back, you're becoming the man she wants to come back to. And the last mistake is rushing the process. When she starts to open up, and she will, you might feel the urge to say, so are we good? Or are you still thinking about divorce? Don't. That's not leadership, that's fear trying to speak first. If you rush, she'll retreat again, because pressure equals pushback. Instead, take a deep breath. When she shares something, listen, validate, and stay grounded, and let the silence do the work. When you stop chasing answers, she starts chasing clarity. Imagine finding a wounded animal in the wild, a dog, a deer, whatever you picture. It's terrified. If you rush to grab it, what happens? It bites, it kicks, it runs away. Not because it hates you, but because it doesn't feel safe. The only way to help is slow down, speak softly, and let it see that you're not a threat. That's exactly how you approach your wife right now. You don't chase the fear, you calm it. You let her see through your actions that it's finally safe to come closer. Remember, your power isn't what you say, it's how steady you stay when she pulls away. The moment you stop reacting and start leading, that's the moment she starts to feel you again. So now let's talk about what to actually say when she's distant. When every conversation feels tense, or one wrong word could make her shut down completely. Because this is where most men either lose their composure or lose their influence. The goal here isn't to win the conversation, it's to win her sense of safety back. So here's a simple framework you can use. You can say something like, hey, I get that you need space, and I respect that. I'm also working on myself, not to prove anything, but because I know we can be better than we were. That's it. You're not over-explaining, you're not defending yourself, you're not trying to convince her to stay. You're standing in calm strength, and that communicates everything she needs to feel before she'll believe anything you say. See, when you speak calmly like this, you're giving her nervous system a reason to relax. Your tone, your body language, your pace, they all signal safety. She doesn't need to hear that you've changed, she needs to feel it. And here's the thing, the masculine energy that draws her back is not loud, it's steady. When you speak from peace instead of panic, something interesting happens in her brain. Curiosity replaces resistance. She goes from, I need to get away from him, to, wait, what's different about him? That moment she starts lowering her guard, not because of your words, but because of your energy. Let's say that you run into her in the kitchen or during a co-parenting handoff. You can say, hey, I'm not trying to make this awkward. I just want you to know that I'm respecting the space you asked for. I'm also working on myself, not to prove something, but because I want to be better for me and whoever's around me. Then, here's the key. Stop talking. Don't fill the silence. Don't wait for her to react. Just give her time. Because the silence that follows that kind of grounded statement is powerful. It gives her space to feel your calm instead of your fear. Picture your marriage like a lake. For a long time, that lake's been stormy. Waves crashing, water churning, no reflection visible. And every time you try to talk it out during the storm, the waves just get bigger. But when you own your energy, the water settles. Suddenly, she can see her reflection again, and yours. That's when she starts to remember why she fell in love with you in the first place. Not because you shouted over the storm, but because you became the calm in it. Remember, you don't rebuild attraction by talking her into it. You rebuild it by showing her through your tone, your calm, your consistency that she feels safe again. The moment she feels peace in your presence is the moment her heart starts to open up again. So here's the truth, brother. When your wife says she needs space, it's not the end. It's actually an opportunity. The men who lose their marriage panic, chase, or go silent. The men who save their marriage stay calm, lead themselves first, and rebuild safety one step at a time. Remember what we covered, okay? Space doesn't mean she's gone forever. It means that she doesn't feel safe right now. Your job isn't to fix her emotions, it's to create calm energy that makes her feel safe again. And attraction comes back through leadership, not words, but consistent grounding action. When you stop reacting and you start leading, everything changes. I've helped hundreds of men rebuild trust, reignite attraction, and save their marriages, even when she said she was done. And if you're ready to take the next step, not just to survive this, but to become the kind of man your wife can't help but respect again and thrive, then don't wait. Click the link below, book your free clarity call with me. On that call, we'll map out exactly what's going on, what's keeping her distant, and what steps you can take this week to start turning things around. Because your marriage isn't over, it's waiting for you to lead it. This is your moment to rise, brother. Step up. Let's get to work.